Oh, I hit the wrong button. It is a Shiba dog giving a thumbs up. Thank you. Then we got Hyperguyver 2, who says, Rip to the Hulkster, Hulkamania will always run wild. Yeah. Bit of a sad week, especially if you're a celebrity. Uh, between Malcolm Jamal Warner, Hulk Hogan,
Chuck
and Ozzy
Mangione.
Osbourne. Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a rough week for everybody, especially with Hulk was kind of a surprise, I think, the one that
Yeah, that
besides-
was a rough one. And
I mean, Malcolm Jamal Warner was also surprising,
Real
but tragic. But this was just kind of
Yeah.
like, whoa, took out
Yeah.
like
But only goes to show that you never really know when time is up. And he put his body through a lot, didn't he?
Mhm.
You know, that's true, Andre. He outlived a lot of his peers, I guess you would say.
He did.
My question is, I didn't get a chance to check into any of this yesterday because I was out and about seeing the movie and everything. Was one of the rumors I heard true that he was in for a surgery and that's why when this happened? Is
No,
that
he had a heart
plausible?
attack at his home, as far as I
well,
recall.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to have a heart attack,
That's the place to do it, I guess, besides
at
the
home.
hospital. Yeah. Mr. Tickle Trunk sends in $2 Canadian and says Jurassic Rebirth need more nunchucks. Yes, they did. They didn't need. They also needed more dinosaurs in their dinosaur movie.
yeah,
This is
Trickletrunk,
another-
Mr. Trickletrunk sent me an interesting post yesterday.
See? That's it. You're not going to tell us what it is?
He just talked about it was regard to the my Colbert presentation and how he read that the people in the writing room were more interested in making each other laugh, and that's why the show wasn't working. And I just sort of pointed out that being a member of a comedy group or as a solo comedy writer, that's actually what you do. You try to make yourself laugh. You make the other people in the room laugh, and then you hope that other people also find that funny, which isn't always the case. The one thing that I hypothesized, and I have been in writing rooms with other people with award shows and things like that. The problem is that they come up with one joke and then that's their joke. That's the one they sell to death, as opposed to the method the Frantics used was we'd write 10 to 20 jokes, pick the best one you thought would work. So there's way too many comedy writers that get wedded to the one joke that they write.
Yeah, like
And that's the
Saddam-
problem,
like
because
a
you never
Saddam
know.
Hussein goes to hell type joke.
Pardon me, what?
Like a Saddam Hussein is in hell joke.
What doesn't matter what kind of joke. The point is that you don't know what the audience is going to like. Even you could love it, which is important. That is an important thing. You got to love the jokes that you write. You got to think that they're funny, but write more than you need, and then let the audience decide what's funny. So that's what I had written to Mr. Tickletrunk, which was a good question from him. Not everybody.
Come
knows.
on, guy.
I mean, there's nothing like being with a group of guys that you really, really enjoy working with, and then howling, with an idea. When Dan came in with Mr. Canoe Head, Canada's aluminum-headed crime fighter, we thought, "Wow, that's gold," and it was. It was hilarious.
Well, Lieber Wolf has been here for 26 months. Thank you for that, Lieber Wolf.
Hello, Lieber Wolf.
And we appreciate that. And we got Corleone Rogue, who's been here for 5. Thank you for that. Dr. Longdog, I think I got this one already, the pound 99. If not, he sent in another one, and I messed up. John Evan Retro Guy Bear is here, and he sends in $6.99 Canadian. It says, Mark Malkin says, is this the gayest Fantastic Four movie yet?
I'd say no.
No, it wasn't gay at all.
I will say this. If it wasn't for the fact that they talk about Johnny liking women, you could have assumed he was gay.
Oh, Lord. If you're going to find whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that there's nothing overtly gay in this movie, but there's even less overtly gay things in the other movies. So by default, this is the gayest Fantastic Four because there was a lesbian couple or something in the background at some point there.
In the 60s?
Yes, because this is Marvel 60s. This is the 60s outside your window, you know?
This is the 60s outside my window. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it still wins it by default, even though there's like nothing explicitly gay. And we are even told that Johnny Storm is totally not gay. And
That's what I mean. They don't
kudos
show
to-
us.
Yeah, and John Evan Retro Guy Bear is a very awesome game controller right there.
Can
That's,
I just mention that Disney allowed a movie to be made that had a straight couple that were in love and had a kid?
Yeah.
Played by a gay dude.
And they didn't even talk about not
That's
having a
irrelevant.
kid.
Whether
Well, and
It is,
even-
it is
even if-
relevant. It is relevant when they have no fucking chemistry whatsoever.
Well, they have great chemistry on the red carpet.
Not in the fucking movie,
jeez.
though.
I had no problem with their relationship.
They even
Well,
showed
we'll get into that.
the fetus face. I mean, hey, that's a baby in there.
Oh, let's talk
Yeah,
about
that's-
CGI baby of the year. Yeah, let's do
Well,
it.
what I'm
that's
getting
even
at
like
is that-
anti-abortion.
What I'm saying is that's not Disney's milieu, if you will. Okay, typically.
Well, I have a feeling this is going to be a spicy conversation today.
Oh yeah.
I like.
We also have X Morbius here. Speaking of spicy, because Morbius is glorious. Sends it $9.99 and says, "Hey guys, heading to a movie for my birthday tonight. I want the official recommendation from the crew. Should I see Fantastic Four or a second time for Superman?"
Well, you're going
I
to get a different
suggest seeing-
opinion from people here.
Oh,
Fantastic Four. You've
yeah.
already seen Superman, and if you're hesitating about seeing it for a second time, go see Fantastic Four.
I agree with
Or just
you.
stay home and
my
watch Crappy
recommendation.
Gilmore too.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that. Like, I was not that big a fan of Fantastic Four. This is obvious. However, you've already seen Superman. If you are at all curious about Fantastic Four and you're not opposed to seeing it, go see that one.
Well-
Because here's the thing, we have loads of very diverse opinions on that movie. Some people love it, some people hate it, most people find it somewhere in between, which means that this is a case where the ultimate judge is going to be yourself.
Well, here's the thing. You kind of already seen this movie, X Morbius. This is basically Rise of Silver Surfer with tits and a baby.
Sounds like an improvement. I would say Ex Morbius,
not
you
really.
should go see it and then come back Monday and do a super chat and tell us what you thought of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a great idea.
Because I started
Happy
watching
birthday,
Rise of Silver
too, by the
Surfer
way.
last
Happy
night. I'm
birthday.
like, I just watched this movie. It's like,
Are you talking about the second?
yeah.
That's terrible. It's a terrible movie.
Doesn't Bad
Wow.
Tom want to wish him a happy birthday?
Oh shit, was his birthday?
Yeah, this was his birthday present to
Oh
himself.
yeah. Great detective he is. Hey, you were the one doing the detecting. I was sleeping. Good morning. And happy birthday to X Morbius, wherever you are. We don't know where he is. He could be here, he could be there, could be anywhere. Probably the United States since he's sending us dollars. But we don't know. He could be like a criminal mastermind of some type. Bye.
And happy birthday. And hope you have fun at the movies, whichever one you choose.
Yeah, you'll have either fun or you won't, one way or the other. Alexander Tan says in the Fantastic Four thumbnail, why are they leaning towards the right? I don't know, it's just the way the picture is.
They're listing.
They're leaning
Not
away
leaning.
from Herbie originally in the
That was
picture.
the
I
tilt
don't know.
of the earth that day.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not leaning. They're listing.
They're leaning away
listing.
from the left wing.
Oh,
There you go.
Lord.
It's a
Well,
right-wing movie.
with that, let's get into this. I see we have Yellow Flash in the chat. I'll send him the link in case he wants to pop in.
I bet he liked it. You better be careful, Tom.
He might have. That's fine. You know, it's just there's little things that really bothered me about the movie. We'll get into it, I suppose. But because Andre saw it the other day, Paul's seen it now. I've seen it. Six has seen it. Have you seen it, Chris?
No, our reviewer Todd has seen it. He says it's. He said they just phoned it in.
You know,
well,
yes. Up front, I will say. Did you see Scribe?
I have not, no.
Okay, well, I mean, it is mixed, but at the same time, it sucks because there is a good movie there.
Mm.
it just feels like the Marvel method was all over this thing. Like they had a half a script, they started shooting, and then they just figured the rest out as they went along without actually thinking it through. That's kind of what the movie feels like. So unfortunately, the best I can give it is like a 5 out of 10. And that's me being generous at this point. And that's me thinking about it all night.
Yeah, you said 3 or 4 last night.
Yeah, and that's being nice because I'm like, okay, I'm being a little overly mean to this movie. But there is some shit in here that pisses me right the fuck off. And or I found out outright just dumb as piss. And I'm sorry, it has one of the worst villains in history, even though he looks good. He's dumb.
Well, he's certainly very cooperative.
And you have the smartest guy in the world. And look, I'm sorry, Pedro Pascal, this is his worst acting I've ever seen.
I thought he was fantastic.
If he
Best Reed Richards, best fucking Reed Richards.
Not
so
in
far.
a million years. If he was any more nebbish, he'd be Woody Allen.
No. This
Are you
was
fucking
a
kidding
Reed
me?
Richards finally.
Oh,
This was a Reed Richards finally overcome with the fact that he couldn't think something through. That he was completely had to deal with the fact that he's always been the smartest guy, and finally he's failed at being able to come up with something, and was he's basically he's ADHD and is spending way too much time in his head. I thought it was the best version of Reed Richards I've ever seen.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Of course, much of that is in the script. That's what the script called for him, and then it's a matter of can you get past the face of Pedro Pascal suddenly doing what the script calls him to do. I will also credit that this from a pure script point of view on the page, this is the best the character ever has been written. Certainly compared to what we've seen before, and then it's a matter of it's the face of Pedro Pascal who is bringing
can you get
that
past
writing
that?
to life. Yeah, can one get
no,
past that?
He's the worst next to maybe what's his ass and Fan Four Stick, in my opinion.
Well,
He's got
Sue Storm telling him what to do through the whole fucking movie. His whole movie's no. She basically calls him a horrible fucking father at one point.
No, she doesn't.
No.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
You thought about it.
No.
It's like you did too, bitch, or you wouldn't have just brought it up. Sorry, they made me pissed. They have no chemistry together, and they are the two worst miscast people in this fucking movie. They don't even feel like they're in the 60s, let alone in their same movie as everybody else. So that was my other big problem. It's like, why set this in the 60s when the Fantastic Four is going to act so modern? Nobody in this movie feels like they're from the 60s, but the people outside their window.
I didn't get that at all.
I did. Okay. What, you grew up in the 60s. How many guys had beards like that in the 60s that weren't hippies?
I'm willing to get past the Pedro Pascal mustache and beard. I don't care. I thought he did a good job of acting the character. I thought it was a very unique and interesting interpretation of a guy who's too smart and just ignoring the rest of the world. He's too busy in his head to deal with people.
Paul, was there anything about it you did not like?
Yes, the convoluted turn for the Silver Surfer. That was horrific. That was terrible. Johnny Storm suddenly becoming Reed Richards and reading alien language and then being able to speak it, and then that entire sequence was terrible, which before the show I had mentioned was handled by Alicia Masters in the comic book version.
Yeah. Is that who Natasha Lyonne plays? Red-haired?
I'm not certain. Well, she's not blind in the thing. She might be.
Okay. She's a different character altogether, isn't she?
That's not Alicia.
Different character, but that truly was almost a deal killer for me. Was just
really?
that one scene, which in the actual what do you call it, in the comic books, was handled very, very easily and very, how do we say it, in a believable fashion within the context of a comic book, that Alicia Masters is the one who kind of convinces Norrin Rad that maybe he shouldn't be leading Galactus to different planets to consume and kill all those people,
Right.
which I thought was really handled. And then, as I mentioned, the triangle between Norrin Rad and Alicia Masters and Ben Grimm thought that Alicia was falling in love with Norrin, and that was a really important part in the comic book.
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie, you've got this ridiculous Rube Goldberg sequence from Johnny and Shalabal, where, you know what, I would have been more convinced if she just fell for him and they both fell in love, right? And then at least I would believe the turn at the very end more than this ridiculous sequence that was in the movie. It's a horrible sequence.
Wow.
I will absolutely say.
Well, this is one place where we can go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and I haven't seen the film. So I can't speak on that. But just from the peripheral information that I had both before and now that the movie's come out, I don't understand, and maybe someone in the chat or maybe somebody on the panel could think of a reason. I don't understand that if they're making a movie that exists in an alternate universe in a 60s aesthetic, and it's effectively a bottle movie in the sense that it's not connected to anything else.
Right.
The thing that I appreciated about the first Iron Man movie was the fact that I own I own an actual copy of the first appearance of Iron Man in Tales of Suspense number 39. Ooh. And I read that thing carefully as a child because I knew it was valuable. And so I knew that story very, very well. And so when I saw it translated to the screen in a modern context, I appreciated the fact that as much as was reasonable, they stuck to the source material, especially for his origin story. If they're going to take the Fantastic Four and they're going to do this story in an isolated universe in the correct time frame, so to speak, retro or otherwise, why deviate from the source material as drastically as they did? Why? What was the necessity?
You tell me.
Well, no, I know that's what I'm asking. It's like why did they need to change anything seriously about the source material they were drawing from?
Too many men.
Well, I mean, the baby, the gender swapping thing is ridiculous. I don't understand why they introduced Franklin Richards into this.
I don't understand that either. But
yeah, none of this makes sense.
Pass on that.
What utility were any of these changes to their future plans that the original storyline disallowed them from using? Maybe there's no answer to that question, but that's the thing that just makes me not want to see the movie, is because it was a completely pointless rewrite of a perfectly good and classic story.
The only reason, from a script writing point of view, and this is sort of like an anti-James Gunn thing, is that I don't think they needed another character. There was a certain logic in turning the Silver Surfer female, in that then you can get rid of Alicia, because Alicia wouldn't have made things messy in terms of what's important. Like what it allowed them to do was concentrate on the four family members, or the four members of the team, more than in the comic books. The comic book is way bigger scope, right? And the confrontation between Galactus and the Silver Surfer is actually better. It's more Star Trek-y, more Twilight Zone-y, because the Silver Surfer does a speech, right, to Galactus, and Galactus says, well, if you feel that way, fine, fuck you, pink, you're now going to lose all your powers. So, but that was something that, was meant to then continue the comic books, later on. I kind of understood the logic of compacting the story and just making it about the Fantastic Four. I kind of agreed with that. It made the movie smaller. It actually succeeded in that way, in the way that Superman didn't, where it was just this wide-ranging focusless adventure of one sequence after another. This actually felt like a story. I actually felt like I was watching a classic comic book. But the problem was there was just no way to overcome the fact that, the Alicia Masters sequence in the comic book really was the perfect way to turn Norrin Radd against Galactus. It was the absolute perfect way to do it. And they couldn't find another way to do it in the movie, which is what failed the movie. And then the baby stuff, I just went, fine, okay. I mean, the worst CG sequences in the movie are Franklin. They're laughably bad.
Wow. I had forgotten that Alicia Masters was in the Rise of the Silver Surfer movie. Of course, she was race swap, so years ago, Marvel.
Yeah, but she's not even in this, and that doesn't even have anything to do with anything. And they gender swap the Silver Surfer for no good fucking reason. Yeah. And I could see where it could make sense, but in this movie, it's not. There's no good reason for it. They've destroyed one of the greatest characters in Marvel just so they can put tits on her, and nobody else is calling them out for it. They're just letting it slide. When at the end of the day, here's where they could have fixed this stupid shit with Johnny. Instead of letting Sue go around and being Sue the way she is in this movie, because that's not Sue to begin with. Sue is quiet and reserved. She's not out there being a fucking diplomat, right? She could be in the background figuring out the alien language and then realize what's going on, because that's something she would do. And then she sends a signal to Silver Surfer to meet her somewhere saying, I got the baby, meet me here. And then when she gets there and she talks to the Silver Surfer, she goes, I know what happened to you, and I know what you sacrificed to give up this world, and I'm going to go through everything I can so I don't have to sacrifice my child. And a mother to a mother talking to each other, I think, is going to have a bigger effect than some quote-unquote playboy showing up and guilt-tripping you over shit that you already know, right? It's like, do you think she doesn't already realize what she's had to sacrifice? I think coming from a mother holding on to a child, it would be much more poignant than it would be coming from some would-be playboy that we never even get to see. And that's the other thing.
That part, I agree with you. It's completely unbelievable. It was a bad part in the movie. It really
and then that leads all into the whole situation with Galactus and his whole fucking plan, which is fucking ridiculously retarded. Okay, in what world do you think? And they pull this off in 36 hours. And also everybody has to conserve all this. It's the most unbelievable setup I've ever seen in my life for them to come to the stupid conclusion they should have come to in the first place. And secondly, they're just lucky, and I mean super lucky, that fucking Galactus is dumb enough to get off the fucking ship. Because at no point is there any reason for him to. None whatsoever, nor was there ever any reason for him to ever make any fucking deal with them, because and this is why I say this, and I'm standing by this, because he calls them clever insects. Anybody who sees people as insects would not even give them the time of the day. He would have took the fucking baby and destroyed the ship, and we would have never even had a second thought. And that's another thing. Why the fuck did they tell the rest of the world that Galactus wants the baby when he's coming anyway? Because all that did was turn the world against them, just so Sue could have this little fucking speech, and everybody turns back around. It's that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was so fucking stupid.
Okay, you're talking about a comic book movie that is.
But I'm talking about.
Hold on, it's an onion of stupid. That comic book movies are layers of stupid.
Sure,
it's just a function of the verisimilitude moment. Have they described the universe well enough that when something happens, you go, yeah. Ants are crawling out of their eyes. I believe it. That's all you need to do, is describe the universe well enough that sequences are believable. Johnny deciphering an alien language is absolutely not believable. You cannot, and I'm agreeing with you there. But, the other stuff is kind of Godzilla, Toho, crazy bullshit, and it was kind of fun, and they did it well enough. It didn't bother me. I enjoyed it. It felt very comic bookish.
Okay, yeah, I'm hearing a little bit of that too, Paul. I don't like Pedro, so I'm not going to go opening weekend for him. I am a huge Silver Surfer fan, and I think that I still haven't gotten a good explanation on the gender swap. I mean, I've heard some excuses, but
They
So
didn't
I-
want
I
another
just-
guy. That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's my
It's simple as
assumption.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
And
It's
she
really
was
that simple.
kind of okay,
yeah,
except they stole Norrin Rad's backstory and gave it to her.
so he's not even mentioned in this.
No, of course not.
Wow.
Shalabal is his girlfriend.
Sure, I knew that from the comics. Yeah.
Later on in the later comics. Yes, that pissed me off. Like there's a
Yeah.
bunch of things that pissed me off, but
Yeah.
overall, I'm looking at it as someone who's never read this.
Is that the
And going-
facsimile or the original?
This
Yeah.
is the original.
They just put out a facsimile edition.
Did
of
they?
that.
No,
It looks
no.
almost
This
that's
is
worth
the-
hundreds of dollars. Be careful, sir.
I was gonna say, if Flash was on here right now, do you realize he'd be yelling at you for handling like that and asking you why it's not on a slab?
Yeah, you're
Paul's
not
using
really
it as a coaster.
Yeah, I love it. That's great. Paul.
You're probably like driving half the nerds in the fucking chat nuts right now.
It's,
They're like,
it's in a plastic. My
You're
plastic.
eating
it
your
doesn't
words,
matter.
probably.
It should be it should be hidden inside of two pieces of plastic that are hard,
Yeah.
so you can never read it again
That's right. Hermetically sealed.
So-
with white
so
gloves.
forever.
Yeah. So the criticism. I'm gonna pull it out now and lick it.
No.
Oh, you really want to set people off?
He's trying to make everybody mad, not just you, Tom.
One of the, just a quick aside, one of the things that we used to do with the Frantics on stage is that I would go out on my own. I would unroll a piece of tin foil and chew it, and the audience were screaming.
You were the guy that would scrape your fingernails on the chalkboard coming
I
in
would
the
do
room.
that.
wouldn't
So,
you?
anyways, yeah, all
Well,
those.
you didn't even
things-
get me a chance to bitch about the fucking CGI baby.
No, it's
That thing
terrible.
is so fucking wretched.
No,
And Herbie, my poor boy Herbie, gets sidelined even worse than the thing.
You know, it's funny,
Overall, I
in the-
enjoyed the movie. I thought it
I
was,
did like the thing. The guy playing the thing was
Yeah.
fine, but
Yeah.
he didn't get enough screen time.
and the CG on that, I got lost in it. I went, wow, this is pretty good. So, I mean, I have anyway, doesn't matter. I
What'd you think of the
enjoyed this
music,
more than
Paul?
Superman.
What'd you think of the music?
The music was all right, but
Yeah,
no,
music
like people are just forgetting how many plot points and scenes and shots are straight up lifted out of Rise of the Silver Surfer here. Like I'm watching it last night, going,
But
"It's the same fucking movie."
but it has to be because they.
Well, they're
took it
adapting
from
the same.
books
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
I get that, but I mean
Exactly.
down to like, and not just story beats, but I mean actual shots and scenes, right? Like it's like even the shot where like, okay, so instead of Johnny following her into outer space, fucking Norrin just literally drags him into outer space and then lets him fall. Same difference, only it's you know what I mean? And then at the end, she fucking dies and Norrin Rad brings her back to life. And only here it's the baby. Big fucking difference. It's like there's scenes like that all throughout. It's not just the major story beats either. Like I get it. You're going to write a story about certain characters. Batman's always going to have a Batmobile. Batman's always going to have, I get it. But in this case, it felt like I've already seen this fucking movie. Why are you doing this again? It's like the Dark Phoenix problem, right? It's like we have seen get away from the Silver Surfer and Galactus for a while. In fact, last
Oh, I
night I thought
agree.
I
I
said,
agree
if
with
anything,
that.
this should have been a Disney fucking Plus movie or a Disney Plus TV show. And if not, this movie should have just been a week in the life of the Fantastic Four and not this big world-ending story where it starts out, we see like them deal with, the Red Mist and then the Mole Men and then something else in between.
Well, they
and it's just a
discussed
week
it.
in their life.
They discussed that. Again, I think we're.
But they
all
don't
in
show
agreement.
us the shit.
No. We're all in agreement that Marvel is addicted to the cataclysmic stories, where even so far as I'll say that the original Captain America, original Wonder Woman isn't Marvel, but I could have handled 2 or 3 World War movies in the milieus where we originally found them. Like I could have handled another Captain America World War II Nazi movie.
Mhm.
Like they're in this mad rush to tell the big dumb stories. There's just so much to the Fantastic Four they could have told before they got to the Galactus story. I
Yes.
agree with you. This drives me nuts with Marvel is that they just can't tell the small stories. They have to go for the cataclysmic ones. And I can't I mean, they're not going to listen to me.
I wish they did, but yeah.
Well, and here's where I can't believe people aren't more up in arms about the Silver Surfer, because Silver Surfer is a character that transcends comic book nerds, right? Like, he is the kind of guy, he's the kind of character that people used to get tattoos of before nerd culture was cool, right? Like, I remember
and they killed it. They've taken. What are they going to do? How are they going to bring Norrin Rad back?
You can't now. You can't do the same shit again.
And I agree with you. It really pissed me off because Shalabal has taken his entire backstory. There is no Norrin Rad according to the Marvel universe, according to the Disney Marvel story. That pisses me off. That's
well, and you can already see where it's going to go, and we're going to get the same. Here's the thing that makes me mad is, you know why they're going to end up leaving this world? Doom's going to want that baby. So instead of them trying to move the world this time, they're going to be like, well, let's move ourselves. And hence that's where they end up in the MCU for Doomsday.
How did what's his name get past all their security to get into their living room?
He's Dr. Doom.
He's Dr. Doom. See, and that's another thing is, how can you do the Fantastic Four without Dr. Doom? You need that connection. Sure, they show one little shot of Latveria, and they may know who he is, but this is where this whole thing was like kind of stupid.
He didn't show up at the meeting. He was mad.
And this is where I was saying, like, in a week in the life of the Fantastic Four would have been more interesting. And then you end the movie with Dr. Doom setting it up that there's another anomaly in space, and Reed's like, you know what? I think I can fix you now, Ben, if we go do this. And what ends up happening is they end up getting zapped into our universe, or the 626 universe at the end with Dr. Doom, right? Like, that would have been an interesting story. Just like show us a few like events in the life of the 1960s. With, you know, and you didn't even have to separate them from the 626, because there's still enough of a pocket there to where they could have existed at one point, and then they just fucking disappeared in space, and nobody talks about them again. Right? Like, that's just the way it is.
Just to finish up this conversation, the aesthetic of the movie, I think, made me like it more than maybe I should have. But I'm a graphic designer, and I love
the production design is great. Oh, we just lost 6. I was about to ask her what she thought of the film. She's not feeling well.
We've already kind of seen this done though to death, like with Loki and Severance on Apple. Just sort of that aesthetic. Just we've been
not the 6. Well, I mean
616. I meant sorry. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I like this. I thought they did a good job of it. It was nice.
The first half is fine.
Nice to see a comic book movie that's not set in the modern era.
But they don't really do anything with that, Paul. That was my other issue. Was like, you did all this stuff
to
make it look like the 60s, and nothing in the film really made it feel like inside the Fantastic Four's universe anything was in the 60s. Outside, everybody looked like they were in the 60s. But sometimes the anachronisms took me out of it, because it's like, okay, well, you have this technology now, but yet you're still using this old school technology from the 60s. In these other ways, it just, and not only that, it looked like Reed Richards was hoarding all his fucking technology too, like not allowing anybody else to use it.
Outside of maybe Wakanda?
The train, outside of a few things here and there, like because he's the only one who has spaceships and shit and cars that can fly, yet they're still using helicopters and shit, right? Like, there's just so many little things going on in this movie that make me scratch my head, going why, and especially when Kevin Feige's sitting here trumping, this is the world outside your window. It's like, motherfucker, I don't know what world you live in, because this is not what the world looks like, nor was it what it was like in the 60s. And I wasn't even alive in the 60s, and I know that.
Well, I think that their excuse is that this is an alternate 60s, and there's at no point did they ever claim this is a fair representation of the historic 60s.
That may be true, but at this point, I'm sitting here going, then why aren't you just like using this as an excuse to say as a jump off point to where we're not going to do combined movies anymore? But no, because the next time we see the Fantastic Four is going to be them crammed with the rest of the MCU.
Secret Wars.
Yep.
Well, they have
that. No, actually, Doomsday.
That's right. Doomsday. Yeah, then Secret Wars.
They have to find a way to bring them into the modern universe. Then.
And I just gave them that, but yeah.
Yeah, you need to be in the writer's room when they get their first draft or second draft finished, Tom, and then shred it and tell them to go back and fix it. You need to be a fixer, Hollywood fixer. Tom Connors Jr., Hollywood fixer.
It's like we've gotten all these crappy Marvel shows about these characters we either don't care about or they've destroyed. when we could have had a show like this whole time set in the 60s. It's like I'm going, I would have loved to every week just tuned into a new episode, and that way you didn't have to have Pedro fucking Pascal, because then it would be so goddamn expensive. And I'm sorry, the guy from the last movie was better.
Yeah,
they're not the last one, but the original first two.
I would have taken Krasinski or whatever his name was, but and
that's another thing. Why wasn't Krasinski in this? Yeah, he'd have been 10 times better.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like.
Well, they need to get rid of Kevin Feige. I mean, again, this all comes back to the top. They're not going to change anybody at the top, and so we're going to keep getting this stuff. And even though, when I heard that Fantastic Four was, it's not that bad. It's actually okay. I'm like, so Fantastic Four is the Wonder Woman of the original DC crop of movies, in the sense that it's not that bad. It's okay. Out of everything else, it's been garbage. Thunderbolts, Captain America, we know they did a massive amount of reshoots. We know the original ending to this movie had Sue and the Silver Surfer saving the day and the rest of them being off to the side. So they learned their lesson at the last second, maybe. But that's and so they took a movie that was already headed to be absolute girl boss trash and made
it's
it
still
okay.
Kind of that. See, people are ignoring that too, because what happens is the difference
the
here
Rose
is
Tico thing.
Yeah, they did the Rose Tico thing with Johnny Storm. So I think the original ending was Johnny getting killed that we got leaked. And that's why everybody was probably pissed, because that left the Fantastic Four to be the Silver Surfer and the other three. Plus Frankie Baby. Who'd want to see that in the next movie? I wouldn't, but not that I was that attached to this Johnny. See, that's the other problem, is we didn't really get to know any of these characters. I'm not calling for a retelling of the origin story, but in this case, especially with characters like Ben, you kind of have to see him as a human.
Yeah, well, and then they stole that from him by having the Silver Surfer be female and not having Alicia Masters. I mean, the gender swap for Silver Surfer was at the expense of Ben Grimm's humanity and his arc. And like you say, this entire thing, when you're going to set up characters this important, not just to the legacy of Marvel in general, but also presumably to the future of the franchise, you need to establish them as people that we can get to know. And you don't do that in as Paul has said, as we've all said, you don't do that in a end of the world, everything's coming apart, we all have to rush around doing other things instead of actually developing ourselves and having the audience get familiar with these characters in a way that they can appreciate them, and also, completely stealing particular characters' backstories or story arcs from them. It just, for the fact that this movie sounds okay, at least not as bad as Captain America and everything else, I'm just, it just does not, to me, give me any confidence that Marvel has learned any lessons whatsoever. They don't respect the source material. They don't respect the characters that they've been given as stewards over. They put Jack Kirby, quote, at the end of the movie, I hear. Right. And yet they've completely thrown Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Maybe Jack Kirby's aesthetic on the Thing is accurate, thankfully, with the eyebrow and everything. But the Silver Surfer's female, the story wasn't good enough for him. Come on.
I will say this, though. This movie, compared to past ones, because this is something I was saying the entire time, this movie came or went into production when Marvel was in the middle stage, which is basically they've now started getting feedback from the audience that the audience hates what they're doing, but they still have wokesters working behind the scenes. So they've gotten the lessons, but they haven't gotten the really brutal lessons. This is one of the things that I said. I remember, and people can go and check in past live streams, that I was worried at the time that this movie is going into production too soon. They're learning, but they haven't learned enough. And that's what I see in this final product. I'm not going to say that this movie shows that they've learned nothing, but it does show that this is where they've started to learn, but they haven't learned enough. It marks a huge step in the right direction, though, because like as has been argued here, this is a very family-oriented movie, something we haven't seen from Marvel for a very, very long time. There are some things they do get very right with the source material, other things they get very wrong. Part of that is because of when the movie was made. Still, I would say that this movie marks a huge step in the right direction. It's not all the way there, but incremental change. And this, I think, is incremental change in the right direction. The real big issue, of course, there's many issues, but one of the really big ones is the female Silver Surfette. And obviously, at the time when this was made, you still had some people that were completely committed to the message and absolutely had to have something in there. But still, this seems to overall step in the right direction. Now, not nearly far enough for the tastes of many, but still enough that many people find something to like here, clearly. And we see that that there's extremely mixed responses to this movie, as we even have in this panel.
Even people I've seen who like the film can agree that the third act is a fucking mess. Right? Like, that's the thing. And that's why I think I agree with you to a point, Andre, but I also feel like it's also half a step back, because they still... The quality and caliber of Marvel writing that we were used to in the height of the Marvel universe, there's still a far cry from that, right? Like, sure, this movie isn't as overtly woke as the MCU has been up till now, perhaps, but there's still a ton of issues with this film, and at the end of the day, you just said it. You said it yourself, really, or at least it was kind of established here between Scribe and everybody else, that the biggest issue with the movie and the reason the movie is a problem is because they just couldn't help themselves. They couldn't help themselves from gender swapping the Silver Surfer. That was it. And the other side of this is they couldn't help themselves from not making... I'm not convinced that Johnny was ever a womanizer in the original version. I think through some reshoots and some ADR, that's how they made him a quote-unquote womanizer. Besides the whole fact that...
surprised, yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise, in this film, he is barely there. It's like they don't know what to do with his character. It's like, it's real easy. This character should be James fucking Dean meets Evel Knievel in the 1960s. That's who Johnny Storm is. He should roll up on a Harley in a leather jacket, slick his hair back like James Dean, and all the girls roll up wanting his autograph like he's a Beatle. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Johnny Storm should be. Instead, he's this guy who sits in his fucking room obsessed with the fucking naked silver chick. And he even makes that joke. It's like, I know what you guys are thinking. And it's like, well, you never showed us that he's this womanizer. I believe it. And I don't even really like the word, you use the word womanizer, because he's not a womanizer. I just think he's a playboy. And he's just, he's a just freshly, like young man who's a wildcat, right? Like, that's who he is. And we don't see that at all. We don't see hardly any characters be their characters. Even Ben Grimm was really fucking nerfed in this movie.
I think RDJ is a little too toxic masculinity for Marvel these days.
It might be, and he's half gay too.
Yeah. But anyway, that's kind of like my point. I agree with you completely, because here's the thing. The Johnny Storm comics accurate was never, ever going to happen current year Marvel, right? The fact that they even added, oh, you're a ladies' man, no one believes that, but that's the claim. I mean, that at least shows some attempt that wouldn't even be made 1 year ago or 2 years ago. I agree with you. That's a reshoot right there, trying to add that in, or some ADR.
One thing that was really good with the movie was when they were working together, generally speaking, no one was telling each other what to do. They knew what their roles were, and they went and did it. Johnny would flame on and go off. And like everyone, it was really, really nice, where rarely was anyone barking orders. Ben, go do this. Johnny, go do this. And I felt as a unit, they worked extremely well. And there felt like there were stakes involved, emotional stakes involved, which usually in these comic book movies, they don't have them. And I felt it. I thought it was pretty good. Notwithstanding the crazy birthing scene, I actually thought, well, I mean, that's something that's, those of us who have gone through it. I've never given birth to anyone, but I apparently my wife did.
That's the
And-
cleanest birthing scene I've seen in space with zero gravity in my life.
Well, there you go. And where was the umbilical cord? Yes.
Oh no, we saw that. Ben cut the cord.
Did he?
But
Oh yes.
there would be
was a
there
there
would
was
be
a tiny
fluid
there was a
floating and
tiny
shit
silver,
everywhere.
There was a tiny silver thing. I agree with you. So,
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, there's a million things you can, pick on these movies. But as I said in my review, I spent most of my time. I bought one comic book, and the rest of the time I was sitting, right next to the comic book shelf, reading through as many of the comic books I could before the guy who was running Claire's cigar store caught me and said, "Hey, this is not a library, kid." So I didn't have to buy all the comic books. I just bought the ones that I could afford at the time at 12 cents a piece. And the rest I just consumed as quickly as possible before I got chased away. So, you know what? And then the other thing too with the comic book movies is that you can look at them the way you look at them in this tiny, analytical state, or you look at them as a Bertolt Brecht play. Those of you who are Bertolt Brecht fans, is that the worst thing you can do when you watch a Bertolt Brecht play is try to understand it as you're watching it. No. What you do is you let the play finish and then think about it afterwards. And I kind of like doing that with the comic book movies too, or they'll drive me nuts.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, there is something to that, I can say, because the problem with that is when the movie takes me out in the middle of the film.
Right. And I agree. And the Johnny stuff with Shia LaBeouf took me out of it. I wait for these things to take me out. I think that's a very good point.
That scene, the birthing scene, and that whole Star Trek Wrath of Khan scene when they hide in the cloud and do all that, like all that stuff is kind of where the movie takes complete left turn.
Yeah,
because the first opening scene,
the
first opening scene is when they do the pregnancy test scene, but then from there on out, once they kind of go into the whole TV presentation and then it leads into the film, for the first, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, the movie's pretty good. And then when shit starts happening, that's when the movie starts going off the rails. It's like, and that's where I was thinking the whole time. I'm like, this would have worked better as a TV show, and I would love to have just seen them handle world events and not like world-ending shit all.
This is what I said. I think that this thing would have benefited from being actually a Disney Plus series rather than a 2-hour movie.
The one thing I'll give them with the world-ending stuff is that they have They were one of the first to do it. They just so. But why did they have to do it out of the gate? That's a different question. That's a different question.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we've already seen Galactus. We've already seen so many world-ending events.
But theirs was the first.
I get it. But like, I think that it would have been more refreshing walking out of there. I even would have like even Superman. I think would have benefited from not having that rift part to the story. Like there's enough other stuff going on.
Well,
that rift was really freaking stupid. I hate that in Superman.
I will say that there was almost no applause at the end of the Superman movie, and there was considerable applause at the end of this movie.
Well, I had the opposite of like in this. I'm kind of surprised at the box office, and I know people are going to claim what they claim. I'm claiming some Disney shenanigans because there was hardly anybody in my fucking screening. Yet both times I went to see Superman, it was loaded. I
went at 4:10 and the theater was full.
I will also say I was surprised by the number of people in my screening. So I'm not ready to call any shenanigans on this just yet. I was surprised at the number of people in my screening in Norway. But yeah, let's go through the numbers.
Yeah. Let's do numbers stuff.
Yeah,
the number they claim now is they were claiming 23 million last night just so they could be 0.5 million over Superman's opening. But now this morning the number they claim is 24.4 million. Not
billion. Oh my god!
So just so they could just be 1.5 million over Superman.
I don't think it's going to beat Superman.
I know the Disney sure is trying to make it look like it is,
but it's funny because it's a more stylish movie than Super. It's a more coherent movie.
And if it gets the right word of mouth, if the narrative that sticks around this is that the movie is pretty decent, Marvel is back.
Yeah, and it's
That's
all about
it's gonna outdo Superman.
it's all about suspension disbelief. I mean, if those of, I mean, I'm probably the oldest person here, and I watched the not Steve Reeves, Superman, the TV show, the classic. Oh God, what's his name? Steve. Anyway, the the famous Superman.
George Reeves.
George Reeves,
George
yes,
Reeves.
George
Yeah,
Reeves.
George
Thank you.
Okay.
Superman, he could levitate Lois. He had levitating capabilities, and it was the dumbest shit in the world. I mean, apart from his costume and everything else, in fact, they were in a compactor once, and the walls were coming in, and you know what he did to stop the walls from coming in? He levitated Lois, got her horizontal, so the walls stopped. He used Lois
I don't remember this episode, but
as a giant metal rod, and it stopped the walls from coming in.
I believe Paul, but I'm just saying I don't remember this episode.
I'm just saying that there's dumb shit all the time.
I'm not saying that
There is.
either, but
Anyway,
look, at the end of the day, this is still the best Fantastic Four movie, hands down. I can't.
and I haven't seen that.
And I just watched it again the other.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I'd love
Just
to see
watched the. Well, I've still got to finish Silver Surfer, but I've seen that enough times. The newer ones were all right. Like the only honestly, watching this again, I stand by what I said initially. I think it would have been more impactful had they just brought, especially since they're from another world. I would have foregone the '60s stuff had they just brought back the other old cast, and have Chris Evans play Johnny Storm again, and bring them all back, because then it means more if she's pregnant. It means more if all this shit's happening, and you can kind of redo it in a different way, like because there was shit that just didn't work before. And maybe you're doing it in an alternate universe. I don't know.
I love the aesthetic. I love the spaceship. I loved it.
I like the aesthetics. Don't get me wrong. That was the best part of the movie. It's a very good looking piece of shit. Like that's where I'm at. It's like it is, because at the end of the day, it's definitely not even remotely close to being in the top half of Marvel films, right? It's definitely in the upper echelon of the worst shit. Right, Andre's right about that. It's about as bad as Thunderbolts. Like, I haven't seen Thunderbolts, but from what everybody's seen, I can see. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. People are praising this shit when it's some of the most mediocre Marvel we've ever gotten. Is it as bad as the worst Marvel? No, but is it anywhere near the rankings of even the Incredible Hulk? Fuck no. Like, and that's where I think people are giving it way too much of a pass. Way too much. This is low level shit compared to what we used to get out of Marvel. But anyway, we got some super chats, like big ones. Like this one here. Andre, you should take this one from Crunchy Beaver.
Yeah, Crunchy Beaver says for $50. Thank you. I ain't giving this guy a fucking dime. Don't care how good it is. Big surprise, Tom, an MCU movie that feels like it's cobbled together. I respect all your opinions, but I'll watch it on the high seas. Arrgh. Thank you, Midnight Edge, for all that you do. Well, thank you. And yeah, well, we it's cool with some different opinions of the movie. So, and I think this movie, just like Superman before it, is going to be divisive. And we see that right here already. But yeah, thanks again for Crunchy Beaver for the super chat. That's much appreciated. And then we have Mr. Tickle Trunk, who says for $2 Canadian, Hollywood no longer does A causes B, therefore C.
No, you're right. They're like underwear gnomes. They come up with A, then they do C, and then they're like, well, how do we figure out B? And that's where they fuck everything up. And then they end up rewriting that C anyway. Dash Attack says they finally got Galactus right, and you say the villain was weak. Pedro was great, but I thought the rest of the...
No, was not
great, but I thought the rest of the cast carried it. Galactus looked right.
Yeah.
Some of his
he has never
bits were
looked
cool.
better. He's never looked better. Yeah, no, the Galactus. I'd watch a Galactus solo movie. My only objection was that, as I said in my
Well, they're
review,
coming
I thought
back.
He was very cooperative. Oh, for that, 100%.
Oh, they just pushed him into pushed him away a bit.
Yeah,
He'll just come
they
back
put
as-
him into the freezer to wait
Yeah,
for
they'll
when
find
he's
his way
needed
back.
again.
Look, he'll be back as Bizarro Galactus, guys. Don't worry. Nobody else noticed it was the same fucking ending as Superman either. Like, it's exactly how he got.
Ooh.
Listen,
I just figured it out. That's when Disney buys Warner Brothers and the Superman villain comes to the Marvel universe and Galactus goes over to DC, and that's the bridge. Oh my God, guys.
They both got knocked
Figured it
into
out.
pocket universes, basically.
figured
Tom,
out.
have you not read 50 to 100, 200 comics? Like seriously, like there's only
So
many
knocking,
stories out there.
so evidently knocking the bad guy into an alternate universe / black hole / pocket universe is the new shooting in the sky.
How many times has it been done? Like dozens.
A million. I know, but like it's a trope. All of a sudden now we have the similar tropes. It's like it's the shit shooting in the sky was the thing for the longest time.
And I'm not entirely-
that I think is coincidence, though. I mean, if this
but
movie had come
there-
out
there
earlier.
are two Galactus endings. One is not in two different stories. One is this one where the Silver Surfer pisses off Galactus, says, "Okay, fine, I'll go find another planet to eat. Fuck you, you're staying here." Right? And it's just it's kind of a Star Trekky a William Shatner convincing someone that maybe you shouldn't be doing this kind of ending. I'm not entirely certain that would have been the satisfying shoot 'em up ending that people wanted in a movie. Then the other Galactus ending is the Watcher shows up and goes, "Hey, dude, let's not do this, okay? Just go away." And he goes, "Okay, fine." That's the ending to that one. So I these philosophical endings are kind of fun in the comic books, but I'm not necessarily certain that they translate particularly well to movies.
You know,
Like,
my
the
new
Watcher shows up.
my new favorite Paul is Paul Shatner. Just please just keep doing that once in a while, and I'll be a happy guy.
That's right. I will do it anytime that you want. So yes, I'm not entirely certain that the proper ending to this comic book series would be that satisfying to moviegoers.
Yeah, the ultimate nullifier would not be flashy enough. It wouldn't feel like they actually physically defeated him. The end of Doctor Strange, where he outwits Dormammu, was a great Doctor Strange-esque solution to a problem, and that's one of the things I appreciate about the Doctor Strange movie, pushing Galactus into a portal rather than outsmarting him or showing that humans have ingenuity beyond his cosmic powers and everything else. Yeah.
Although Sue Storm being so mad that she pushes him back using her field strength, that's actually canon. So it's, she's mad. He's hurting her baby, her 3D baby.
3D baby.
3D baby. 3D baby. There should be a song. 3D baby. And so that's actually canon. She can do that. So whatever. Yeah, I know.
All right. Let's move on.
I like the typeface. I like the typeface. That's why I love the movie.
And then on the
by the
Rebel
way,
side,
the number of people on I've been checking the responses to my positive review. Like I'm a shill. I'm
Oh, that's fine. We're all chills. Just for
Yeah,
different
we're all
things.
chills.
So, yeah.
Kalekioki
Unpaid
sends in $2 on the Rumble side and says, "You think Marvel stepped up their game because they were worried about the quality of Superman? Hearing fairly good word on it within our sphere. By the way, what a Midsummer Film Fest! Not one amazing film.
Hey,
I
wait,
love
Bambi the
Superman,
Reckoning
but-
comes out this weekend, guys. That's gonna Fantastic
that is
Four run
true.
for their money. Bambi the Reckoning.
That is true.
Tom, the chatter on X right now is that you are a James Gunn shill. So just for the record, we're
I
all
always
shills.
have been,
I know, right?
according to them. Yeah. So whatever.
Yeah.
Even though I never even watched
Number one,
Peacemaker
one.
until the other day, but yeah, I'm
Wow.
a James Gunn shill.
Yeah, and you were so pissed off that Gunn didn't reboot everything and remove even Peacemaker for canon.
Yep. I said that was stupid.
My problem with
I'm-
Peacemaker, you think I don't like Pedro Pascal? I really don't like John Cena at all. You
Interesting.
talk about shills. He is,
Chris,
shill.
I agree with you.
Mm.
He is one of the hardest guys, especially like when
Yeah.
he popped up in like Bumblebee. Like I love that movie except for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but for some reason as Peacemaker,
Mhm.
and I agree, I have to give Andre, he was right. because I resisted the show. I watched like the first, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of the first episode, and I'm like, I can't fucking do this. Because I hated his character in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I didn't like his character in that movie.
Yeah.
And I said to Andre, I'm like, I can't do this John Cena thing. I'm just not a fan of him.
But you know
He's
what's
like, whatever.
amazing is
And
the
then I start-
Peacemaker character fits his sycophantic Chinese apology real life character. Like, I hate them both.
Yes. Okay. So Tom, you
And
liked
that's
it after
kind
you
of what I
watched-
was getting around to.
Sorry,
Like,
sorry,
yeah, it
Tom,
was-
I didn't
no,
mean
no,
to
you're
cut you
fine.
off.
It's kind of like almost in an Archie Bunker kind of way now, to where it's like, yeah, I don't agree with everything he says or does, but god damn it, if he hasn't kind of charmed his way into my heart. You know, it just
Yeah.
it's not the actor, it's the character. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I stand
would-
by the Peacemaker is my favorite comic book movie live action series of all time.
I
so
agree.
far, one season in.
And
So far,
Eagly
yeah.
is
Yeah.
the greatest fucking sidekick ever, period, hands down. I don't give a shit.
Sorry, his
High praise.
his character, his sidekick, what's his name?
Eagly.
Oh, Eagly.
Eagly, the eagle.
Yeah. Eagly.
Yeah. Yeah, I said I like Peacemaker so much. I don't mind that James Gunn's DC universe really is the Peacemaker cinematic universe. I'm such a big fan of Peacemaker that I'm good with that.
Like, I know people hate when James Gunn takes serious moments and does a laugh with them, but I don't think I laughed as hard as I did at the show when the lesbian chick is talking to her girlfriend and they're having, or her wife, and they're having issues. And she's like, I know this shit's really fucked up right now, but I just saw an eagle hug a man. She's like, I know, right? Like, just the whole thing, the whole idea of this thing, like, it's just, he fucking hugged him. Like, an eagle would never hug a man. Like, just, to me, the whole fucking concept is like ridiculous. But then when it gets into the whole story, it just worked out. And I seen what Gunn was up to, but I'm curious more now to see how he factors it all in with Superman, because this is where I'm going to have a problem, and I think. And Andre knows what I'm talking about. And that's where I said, if you're going to go scorched earth with this shit, you just go scorched earth. He could have had Peacemaker off in his own little pocket universe and not ever stopped making it. Just don't cross it over with Superman or any of the other stuff. But we'll see, because now we're just getting alternate universe.
Peacemaker.
We'll see how he handles it.
Gonna be
And
fun.
then Base Place Player 2011, if he says Disney is addicted to making payoffs with no setup. Not every film needs to be world-ending event. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd like a Spider-Man and a Daredevil movie where it's just them fighting Kingpin. Like, why is that so hard to get? Like, remember when the Joker almost destroyed the Earth in Batman? Oh yeah, no, he didn't. You know what I mean? Like, he almost took out Gotham, but he didn't do shit to the rest of the world.
Well, they seem to have seemingly learned the lesson that, Infinity War and Endgame made a bunch of money because it was a gigantic cosmic level world-ending event. No.
See, and that's the thing, is
the answer is
Galactus
no.
is, yeah, and that's what we've been saying, is Galactus is the type of thing you lead up to in an Avenger film, right?
Yeah, exactly. Galactus, you have to build up to Galactus. You have your first movie be Mole Man, and then Annihilus if you want to start doing alternate dimensions and stuff, and then eventually you work up to Galactus. You don't start with Galactus, but they
where they
and here we
did
are.
perfect?
Hmm.
The perfect build-up was in the Ultimate line of comics.
Well, the Ultimates were the foundation for the MCU in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, I wish they had picked up on that, because the Ultimate Galactus trilogy in the Ultimate Universe I thought was fantastic.
Oh,
Up
I
till
don't.
the
I'm
end, of
familiar with
course.
that one.
Like the end wasn't great, but the build-up is fantastic.
Gotcha.
And then we got, let's see here, we got Mr. Tickle Trunk next, who says Hollywood no longer does a... Oh, we got this one already. What is going on with my things back here? This is weird. I don't think he sent it twice, but I have it here twice for some reason, or I didn't exit out. Dark Hierophant says, does the film suffer from toxic Pedro masculinity? Yes. Yes. If you're sick and tired of Pedro, I think it'll bother you. Because that was my issue. Like, I will concede to this, Paul. If anybody else was playing him, if it was John Krasinski, I might not have had a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm just too Pedro'd out.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
what
it.
I was saying too. Because the way that
What?
Go ahead, Andre.
Yeah, no, I was just saying the way that the character was written is actually spot on, but many people can't get by. It's the face of Pedro Pascal doing the acting. I agree. The way that the character is written, best Mr. Fantastic ever has been written.
And
Yeah,
maybe
he is
if
a good
Vanessa-
actor. He's a good actor. I did find it hilarious. If you stayed to the very end of the movie, the cartoon at the very end, they stuck a mustache on Mr. Fantastic.
and it looks horrible.
It looks terrible.
And honestly, I will give this to Vanessa Kirby. She might have been more stomachable had she had a better leading man to work against.
She was gorgeous.
I thought
she
she
might
was
have been-
fantastic.
She might have been
correct.
fine, but to me, it just didn't work
Oh.
because their dynamic didn't work. And the first
It is-
scene we have is her finding out she's pregnant, and they're supposed to have this moment, and he comes off as just awkward and weird. And now all I can see is how he just
Right.
That's the character
character.
done right.
That's the character.
maybe,
done
but
right.
not with Pedro. Unfortunately, Pedro doesn't work with me now.
I worked fine with me.
Yeah,
That's the weird
that's
thing.
what I mean. That's because you can't stand seeing Pedro. That means you can't, because if it was a different face than Pedro, this is what you said as well, Tom, it would be fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's because it's Pedro. And many people
Partially.
are now so fed up with him, and that's the issue. That he's supposed to be awkward and stuff like that. That's the character.
It's apparently not impacting box office. The
And how's-
Pedro
No.
fatigue.
How's the box office there, Mr.
Yeah,
Chris?
I said it earlier, but yeah, go ahead and say it.
Well,
again.
I mean, it's apparently doing better than Superman with its debut.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, very, very good Thursday numbers so far, and then with solid word of mouth, this thing is going to outdo Superman into the opening weekend. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how this plays out.
it's the best since Deadpool and Wolverine 1 year ago.
Wow.
Yeah. 24.4 million Thursday.
That's the
Superman
Thursday,
did-
so then we'll see how it holds up
Yeah.
over the course of the weekend, and certainly next weekend is going to be very interesting to see because I see very extreme and different responses. What I don't know are the numbers. Are there more people who dislike it, or are there more people who like it? I can't say, but it'll be interesting to find out.
And I think production design goes a long way in giving people a hint as to just what something is about, even without knowing what the story is. I have always liked the Fantastic Four trailers over all the Superman trailers,
Okay.
just because of the aesthetic. But that's me. To me, aesthetic is very important.
I've preferred them over it also, but it could be because I'm a Fantastic Four fan. Because I'm seeing it handled, with aplomb and a very nice aesthetic, which I hear after a while just kind of, okay, we've got that. Now give us a good story. But that could just be, you've got your Marvel fans, you have your Fantastic Four fans.
No question.
So they're getting out there early. Now the Deadpool and Wolverine opened with 38.5 million.
Now that has a very clear aesthetic too. And
Sure.
plus it was a buddy movie. It was the Bing Crosby, Bob Hope of superhero movies.
And I think
Yeah.
that it's really neither fish nor fowl, right? Because it's a comedy. It's not really part of the Marvel universe, but it kind of is. And there's all these fun whiz bang
I
cameos.
think he's going to play a bigger role in the future than we think.
Oh, I'm
but
sure
yeah.
he will. Yeah, I'm sure he will. He's basically secured that fact just with Deadpool and Wolverine. But
Well, what I mean is, I think that movie's going to play into how they
Which movie, Tom?
Deadpool and Wolverine
Oh,
and
yeah.
how they, because they basically have hinted that they're going to trim this down to one universe when it's all said and done.
yeah,
So
I
I
think
think that
yeah.
whole thing with Deadpool going, why is Thor crying?
yeah.
Why is he holding me? I think that's going to play into all this because when he said, I am Marvel Jesus, I don't think that he was lying.
Yeah, maybe he knows that more than he's letting on. And I think too, the Secret Wars you're hearing about old X-Men actors coming back, but now they've hired the guy that directed Thunderbolts is going to do the first X-Men movie for Marvel, and I'm like, good grief, is that really the next phase? The joke was we had Scorsese saying absolute cinema over some of this stuff. Marvel is, I think, as long as Feige's in control, it's not going to be much different than the way Star Wars is handled with Kennedy in control. There may be these moments where it's like, there may be board members that say, you got to get some of this woke out of here, Kevin. And that's what they've done with this movie. It sounds like, particularly the third act changes.
I don't know about that because he doesn't believe they're too woke, though. Go ahead.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think that Kevin Feige is legitimately going to try to course correct. I don't think that he likes doing it. I think that he would have preferred it to be all girl bosses all the time.
Yeah.
But I also think that he is smart enough to realize this is going to end the entire Marvel universe. This is the end of my legacy. So I have to fix this one way or the other. So then he's going to try. Now, is he capable of getting back to where a whole team was before? I don't think so, not on his own, because then he needs to bring back people who's going to challenge him, and he apparently doesn't like that. But I don't believe that he is like Kathleen Kennedy, who is like, we're going woke and all girl bosses till the bitter end. I'm going down on that ship. I do not think that that is a hill that Kevin Feige is willing to die on. Now, he'd love to win, but if he sees this isn't working, we have to get away from it, he's going to do his level best to get away from it. I will give him that credit. I do believe he's going to try, of course, correct, without believing that he's going to succeed.
I get the sense that he's pragmatic on the ideological level of things, but on the process, it still doesn't seem like he's learned a lesson with making movies without scripts completed, handing things over to directors just because they have names or because they're currently hot or something. Because the guy that directed Thunderbolt, prior to that, he did like almost nothing of note, and now he's being handed another hundreds of millions dollar movie. The Russo brothers, the messaging may be toned down, which I'll be completely thankful for. The quality, I don't know. I'm still highly skeptical.
Yeah. I mean, if all you had to do was get rid of the messaging, there'd be a lot more great movies. There's so much to it, and Marvel does have the movie making stuff down, but this script thing that keeps getting brought up, Marvel's a machine. And so the schedules are what the schedules are, and they just have to keep grinding ahead. And I think a lot of sacrifices are made, and it shows. It shows with some of these flicks, just to keep hitting those schedules, even when they delay the thing.
Whether you liked Superman or Fantastic Four better, I mean, yes, it is a lot nicer to have like nerd debates than it is to talk about the woke crap.
Yeah,
that part is true. But I agree. Like, I don't know if this is really a sign of Kevin Feige learning the proper lessons, or he's going to fix the right things. Because after reading his interview that we did a video on, and I'm sure plenty of you guys have either wrote a story on or done a video yourself on the panel, like he doesn't understand what the real problem is. See, that's what I see. I still see cognitive dissonance on his part, to where he still thinks it's the, one or two little problems, when it's like, no, it's a bigger picture here that you're not seeing, dude. And you're not going to be able to fix that problem. Like the leaks right here. But yet you keep like replacing pipes and doing all sorts of shit all around the leak, but you never actually look at the leak and see what's causing the leak. Like that's, to me, the problem here is they just want to keep ignoring the leak and just put pans underneath it all the time and not worrying about the leak at the end of the day. And it's at some point it's going to give. And I can't believe the box office is doing as well as it is. Honestly, everybody calls Disney shenanigans every other time, and they probably won't this time, but I'm still calling it this time too, because they had an incentive and needed to make this movie look this good.
Better than Superman, right?
Just a little bit better than Superman, so that you could say that Marvel's still winning, Marvel's still back, all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when was the last good Marvel movie? Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest tells that Feige is not really attacking the core problem was the stunt casting of Robert Downey Jr. as Dr.
Yes.
Doom. I mean, come on. Nobody else could play Dr. Doom. Now, if he's got some weird, crazy, clever hat trick that he's going to pull out, how Iron Man and Dr. Doom are really the same character across different multiverses or something, I don't know. Maybe there's something he's got up his sleeve that's super duper clever, genius, and you're like, wow, why didn't I think of that? But I don't think he does. I think it was just stunt casting and something to give the fans something to get excited about, because they sure weren't getting excited about Shang-Chi, Black Widow, or whatever other slop they've been serving. But the worst part about this is whether the movie's good or not, there are armies of DC heads and Marvel zombies that are going to go and eat up whatever slop is served. That's it. It will be that way for many more years. And I just hope Marvel is turning it around. But there's nothing on the slate right now that I'm sort of excited about. I'm a bit jaded.
Well, you answered your own question.
Thing.
No,
there's the Punisher short.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Well, I was just going to say, no, you answered your own question. No, he has nothing up his sleeve. Why? Because they had to move the Avengers twice now, and they're not even sure if it's going to be just 2 movies or 3 movies because they don't have an ending. So this is what he's still doing the same crap. And say what you will about James Gunn over on the other side, at least he's not going forward unless they have a fucking set script. He's even still going, yeah, Batman 2 is good, but it needs work. You know what that tells me? It ain't greenlit yet.
Yeah. Well, he just announced, we posted an article over at Bleeding Fool yesterday or the day before. It was about the middle of the week where Gunn was talking about the next 15 projects. And it got an amazing amount of pushback that he's got it planned out that far. And I'm kind of unsure why. I've got my problems with James Gunn already that may or may not factor into how I feel about his films, but I was shocked that people had that much pushback towards him just announcing, that they've already got 15 projects on the board.
I believe him.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know what the problem is.
And because I've seen him go, nope, we're not doing that if it doesn't feel right to him. And look, for better or worse, that's the kind of guy you need running a company. Right? Like, I know a lot of people freak out about Zaslav, but that's one of the things I keep saying about him is the motherfucker was smart enough to say, look at this Batgirl thing. That's going to fucking destroy us.
Yeah.
Get it. Get rid of it. Right? Like,
yeah. Well,
you need somebody who has that kind of balls.
I agree. The RDJ casting aside, like on the Marvel side, I still am curious about their decision to greenlight a Clayface movie. I'm still bewildered by that. I don't know what the aesthetic or plan really is for that, but okay, let's see what you got.
Well, now that we know more, go ahead, Andre. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it has to have one hell of a script. Plus, I think it only costs 20 million.
Yeah. Well,
they're saying 45, so they're probably only spending 20 million on it.
Yeah, I hope it's got a great.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't believe that Superman cost as much as it did either. And same thing with, I'm sure they're going to bring Supergirl's budget down. Because that's one of the main things that they wanted to do was be able to do these movies on a budget. And we know a little bit more about Clayface now. Yeah. It is set in the main DCU, so I'm curious if we're going to see Batman, because there's been a lot of rumors about Batman coming out. And it is supposed to be based on the 2-part Batman animated series episode, which to me is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, Tom, if you check the private chat, there may be something else on Batman there. I don't know who assessed it.
I don't know if I see
it. Would be if true, it would be right in time for Clayface.
Where's it at?
Private
I don't
chat.
see any.
X.
Oh, X.
Yeah.
So there's 3 private chats, Andre. Yes. There's another room. I heard this or saw this too. Yes. So we got another rumors to possible Batman. And this one does not surprise me either. The gentleman from the Yellowstone spinoff, Brandon Skellner, or how we say his name, is in the possible running. I think he might be too young, though.
Well, if you're going to start with a Batman Year One aesthetic,
it's not Batman Year One.
As long as he's got a Pedro Pascal mustache and scratchy beard, I'm all in.
That's a porn stash all the way.
No, that's
I can tell you.
No way.
Yeah, I can tell you. Well, I can make some speculation based on what James Gunn would likely want. he is going to want his Batman and his Superman to have some kind of chemistry and interaction together. And in order to get that kind of chemistry right, he's not going to want them to be too far apart in age.
But keep in mind, this Batman is supposed to already have a teenage son.
Oh, that's
That's
right.
what-
Yeah, Damian Wayne.
Keep that in mind. And like I said, so I don't think he's going
If that still is the plan.
if that still is the
True.
plan, and that's as far as I know, the plan is to do Brave and the Bold with Damian Wayne. And that's where I think that this kid might be a little too young. I could be wrong. And the big talk, of course, has been Alan Richardson. And I even put some feelers out there, and I have not been able to get any denials. And I've heard there has been talks in his camp. So that doesn't mean they necessarily have had any talks with DC. But Alan Richardson is probably a little more closer to the age I would imagine that they're looking for. Of course, I don't know this guy's age per se exactly, but in the show he plays a much younger guy.
He doesn't
Alan
look like
Richardson should play
anything.
Aquaman. Alan Richardson should play Aquaman.
He doesn't look like anything. He's just a good-looking guy. I'm
No, he's
tired
actually a
of-
decent actor. He's excellent in the show.
Okay.
I've not seen him really in anything else to speak of, but I mean, he could play that kind of. I could see him as like a Batman or a Green Arrow type or something like that. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yep. Plumber Man.
But I don't know. He might just be a tad young for Batman. But then again, I could be wrong. He might be older than I think. He's 35. Yeah, he might be able to pull it off. He's older than he's older than he looks. Then, because in the show he's supposed to be
This
only
guy
like
can
his,
pull off. He can pull off anything from 25 to 45.
I was gonna say because in the show I think he's supposed to be in his late 20s, if that.
Yes,
I mean, he's supposed to have done a few things
but-
in his life, so he's not supposed to be young, but yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, let's keep moving because we've got a couple more super chats and one quick more topic to get onto, and we got a few more super chats to get through here. I think we left off here. Magnus Toth with $25. Thank you so very much for that very generous super chat. Does anyone have any hope that the upcoming Alien Earth series will be any good? It looks like it might be good. My only concern is that the cast doesn't look all that compelling in the trailers. My biggest issue with it, and I saw the trailer on the big screen yesterday, is that it's taking place on Earth before all the other films. And why are the aliens on Earth? But
I've just seen the trailers for up to about 3 sci-fi kind of TV series on streaming, and every single one stars a girl boss, and I'm not watching. I'm so
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
tired. Like,
Yeah.
Did you
enough.
see the War of the Worlds one yesterday?
No, I didn't see
What?
that.
Oh
No.
my
Worlds.
gosh!
another
What?
one?
They're hungry for data. They're hungry for your
What?
data. Yes. I'll drop
War
it
of
in the
the
chat.
Worlds.
It looked
How many different versions of
embarrassing.
War of the Worlds are we going to get?
This one
Well,
looks
it's
like the
public
worst.
domain, so.
This
Well, I
one
got to
looks-
ask Andre this because this is something that
I
supposedly came out about
hate it when they
Alien.
have data issues.
Yes, well, that's what this one's. Well, and back on the
Hate that
Alien
movie.
Earth, real quick.
Yeah,
think
I want to ask
Scribe
Andre something about it
yesterday.
too.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Scribe talked about it being concerns about capitalism and the future of an overheated planet.
Yes, Hawley, the showrunner, has been, even from when it was first announced, has been very vocal on the fact that he wants to use this as a platform to message out about inequality, about
Oh,
capitalism,
fucking hell.
about the environment, and so on. So I'm already kind of. He did an amazing job with the first season of Fargo. Cannot deny that. I mean,
The
first
only
season of
good
Fargo
season
was
of Fargo.
great.
Yeah, it
But
was.
but to hear that that's going to be embedded in there just makes
Yeah.
me go. And the other thing too, and this isn't so much with the show, but the article out of Variety the other day talking about that Chris is quoting. The first 2 pages or so of that article talked about how the star of the show, who is the daughter of Kyle. What's his name? The guy that's going to play Hal Jordan, the new Green Lantern show. Anyway, she's the star of the show, and the first 2 pages of that article talk about how she had an absolute emotional breakdown on the prospect of coming for the photo shoot for that article for the magazine, and how she kept going back and forth and eventually bowed out of even taking part in the press tour for it, which I was just like, it was just so bizarre to read something like that. You usually don't see something or hear something like that from behind the scenes about somebody's emotional problems or whatever in dealing with press, especially in something that's as big budget and high profile as this. I thought that was interesting.
Variety may have lost money booking a photographer and the person canceled at the last minute, and that's sort of a backhanded jab at the
It could be, yeah, because the cover eventually had to just be Timothy Oliphant and Holly, and the star of the actual show, the female lady, she wasn't even there.
Well, she was out girl bossing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that crap about the show, but I did want to ask Andre because it came out, I think, the day before or yesterday that supposedly, and I don't know how the fuck they're doing this, this is ignoring all the prequel shit from the Ridley films, but it's in the same universe as Romulus. And I'm like, how do they figure that when I haven't seen Romulus yet. I own it. I still have yet to crack it open because I'm just not looking forward to it. Yeah, because you were flat out pretty positive that this takes place in the same universe and basically ties up both timelines together.
Totally, totally.
So it takes place before. Does it take place before Prometheus, or does it take place before the first Alien movie?
It takes place before the first Alien movie, so this is even a prequel to the prequel to the prequel. Like it's,
yeah, but all the Prometheus stuff happened way off
first.
Yeah.
It takes place at roughly about the same time as Prometheus. A little bit before Prometheus, maybe even.
I thought Prometheus took place way... Well, are you talking about... Okay, yeah, which part of it? That's true.
Oh, the main events, I would assume.
So this is actually technically after Prometheus.
Yeah, but Prometheus took place on a very distant planet and never intersected with.
Well, yeah, but they didn't have the alien xenomorph in its final form yet. That wasn't until Covenant.
So wasn't Alien versus Predator on Earth both?
Doesn't count.
Well, it should. Yeah. Maybe they'll tie it in. It's the only way it makes sense.
Doesn't count. Never happened. Don't know what you're talking about.
Probably they'll set up their own Alien versus Predator.
You're this person who like watches shit like Highlander 2 and crap too that doesn't exist, do you?
Hey, I like the first Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, the first one's not so bad, but that second one is just abysmal.
Oh my god, I don't remember anything about
I have to depart, gentlemen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. But before you go, I wanted to get your feelings. Did you get a chance to watch South Park Scribe?
I did not. I'm sorry.
All right.
I've seen the clips and everybody's like, oh my god, they're making fun of Trump, and I'm like, who haven't they made fun of in the last 15 years? It's just they're making fun of the president.
I think people are overlooking the big thing with this. The fact that they're making such hardcore fun of Trump proves that Stephen Colbert is full of shit.
Bingo.
Because if Paramount was that fucking worried, don't you think they would have not aired that fucking episode?
Oh yeah, no, they're trying to unload their own responsibility for the lack of performance of their productions, the financial situation, everything else onto Trump, rather than actually having to face up to the fact that Colbert has just run a crappy show for the last 7 years or whatever.
Well, and
anything to abrogate their own personal responsibility for the fate of their own careers, it's Trump's fault. Anybody but us, it's Trump.
It's funny too, because not only was it not your Trump jokes in quotation marks, Stephen, but Paramount even rubbed salt in the wound by saying, how about we throw $1.5 billion at the South Park creators? So we've got money to spend, just not on your show.
Yeah.
But no, all they paid Trump was basically a year of his salary, Colbert's salary. That was
16 million or something.
Yeah.
No. What I mean is, though, they had to dump the Stephen Colbert show, which cost $100 million a year, but they're going to give, what is it, $300 million a year to Trey and Matt for.
Yeah. Well, it's because their show actually makes money.
Right.
Yeah.
And is a lot cheaper to make.
Yeah. I got to go, guys.
All right,
nice talking to everybody. Anybody's interested, last night on TED Excellence, we took a look at how mindfulness and meditation can help men. And it was not entirely one man's personal nervous breakdown and confession of personal sins on a stage. No, it's all men have this problem, not the speaker. So if you want to watch somebody try to project their problems onto the world in a very ineffective way, it was entertaining. So there was that. But anyway, everybody have a good rest of the day and weekend. Nice to see you, Paul and Chris and Tom and Andre and Six as briefly, and everybody in the chat. And I'll see you guys later.
Take care, brother.
Thanks for joining us.
So yeah, so before we get back into the super chats real quick, since we're on the subject, who happened to watch the South Park episode that's taken the world by storm? Paul, you're muted.
I don't get that channel.
Well, I thought you didn't share it with him, Andre.
Oh, you're in
Nope.
a sharing mood?
Well, I guess not. Chris, did you watch it?
Just clips, like Scribe, just clips. We have a story over on Bleeding Fool about it, but that they weren't impressed with the content.
Andre, what did you think? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was anything special, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but it's part of it is funny. But at the same time, I can't really say exactly where they're coming from. I think they do capture a little bit about like the divided feelings inside of the MAGA audience. Let's put it that way, which has some mixed feelings on a number of subject matters. So I think that they were able to capture that. As for the overall message, though, I can't really say. It was an episode that I thought was mostly forgettable. I liked the joke about the electrical car. That was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as like the South Park episodes, I wouldn't have said it was anything that special, but at the same time, I feel like they've been playing 4D chess this whole time, like I say here, because they were asked about this. They were at Comic-Con the other day, and or yesterday, and they were asked about this, and they said, you know, you're probably going to get sued. And he's like, it's fine, man, I'm ready. I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're legitimately trying to get sued by Trump. And at the same time, they're also telling Paramount to go fuck themselves and proving that Colbert was full of shit at the same time. All three of these things in one episode. Because then from here on out, they're like, yeah, from here on out, we're not going to do any politics. None. And they were lying. They were fucking playing poker on top of it all. Because they didn't have any episodes banked. They said they did. They were lying. It says right here. They said they never had a banked bunch of shows for later. The promo they released ahead of the premiere was put together to appease the network. He goes, yeah, we're not doing any of that.
I think they nailed it too. All these people outside Colbert crying about him being canceled, next year. Then them coming out with this episode that mocks Trump and treats him like Saddam Hussein.
I think there's something to that too. Maybe if they come back to it, it'll probably end up being Saddam Hussein in a mask or something.
Yeah,
watch.
Maybe.
The only problem, I'm looking at clips of the show. The only problem is, and it's not that Trump is off limits. It's that I don't know of anyone who has been satirized and attacked as much as Trump. And I'm not talking about from a pro-Trump perspective. It's been incessant and from so many different places that I'm wondering, what is it that the guys are going to be able to show that other people have not already mentioned or parodied already? Like that's the issue. I mean, part of what South Park does really well is that they find something to parody. Let's say Scientology, where we don't really know much about it, and then it provides a really interesting window through what's his name, the actor, and that was fun. Out here, I saw a bunch of the stuff that they were doing. I'm going, okay, almost every single thing that I've seen here, I've seen some other late night show host either comment on or actually make fun of visually. What's the point of it? They're just piling on. Go ahead. I mean, be my guest. It's comedy. It's open season. Do what you want. But that doesn't seem to be the strength of what South Park does. I mean, for instance, there's stuff on Disney. We know a lot about this stuff, but the general public doesn't. Like, put a chick in it, and make her gay, right? That was something that became a meme because the world outside knows nothing about the goings on and the problems of Disney. And and South Park actually revealed that. So that is, I think, is part of the fun. That's one of the things that they do extremely well. This thing here, I mean, I've seen all these jokes already.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's kind of like why I was like,
Man,
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, as far as them going on as far as the show itself being clever, yeah, totally. I agree with you guys. This is nothing that isn't run of the mill for South Park.
right.
In fact,
That's my point.
it was kind of almost like a callback, and they even had the music playing in the background on purpose. And that's why I was saying to Chris, and I know he's got to leave here, so I'm going to give him his out. Like, I do feel like that if they do come back to this at all, if at all, it's going to probably be Saddam anyway, because his music was playing the whole time. And his head was moving like Saddam's, and he sounds like Saddam. Yeah, so that I think is kind of what they're doing there with that, to where I think people are kind of looking too much into it with the whole Trump thing. But because I think it was less about making fun of Trump and just more about how he is so litigious, and at the same time making fun of they were making fun of Paramount more than they were Trump. I think it's just because they were making it out like everybody's so afraid of Trump, right? Because that was the whole thing with Jesus.
Yeah.
Remember, he's like, just stop it, you guys are gonna get us fucking sued. Like, you know, like that whole thing.
Yeah, this felt like, look, we can do it.
Yeah,
That's what
that
it
really
felt
was kind of what it was. You're not wrong. I mean, that's part of it. But anyway, Chris, thanks for being here, buddy. I know you got to run.
Hey guys, have a good weekend. I enjoyed it. Oh wait, there we go.
You just went through time and space.
It's bizarre. Right now I'm rubbing Paul's knee right now. Okay. Wait, no, it's not me.
This is not that kind
Anyhow,
of show.
I gotta go. I'll try and see you guys early next week. Have a good weekend. You can check me out on Chris Brawley or at Chris Brawley or at Bleeding Fool or at bleedingfool.com. Thanks everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Take care.
And I gotta go too.
All right, let me make sure there's no super chats for you. While
So
you're
I
plugging
actually
your
have
business.
two. I have another Fantastic Four review, depending on what the box office is. If the box office tanks,
So you're gonna do a negative one?
yeah, then I got to put the other one.
Okay. You're just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah, go to with the floor.
Okay.
The comments are hilarious. But some people are going, "Hey, can't Paul have an opinion?" It's like I've got people defending me. I'll say,
oh, that's good, I guess.
yes, I have a great bunch of people commenting. Some pretty good jokes. I had a good joke, I think, on the on my quickie review. I don't know if you saw that, but when I went to the washroom after the show, we had the big line of urinals, and one of them said out of order, and I went, okay, now I have to spend some time to figure out how to get them in the right order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta ask though, did you see the trailer for Spinal Tap 2? The End Continues yesterday.
No,
that dropped.
I have not.
Oh, you should check that out.
I did see the trailer too. Did you guys get to see the trailer for James Cameron's Space Wakanda? What's the name?
Avatar. Yes,
Avatar.
Yes, I did
yeah.
get to see that in 3D. Yes.
What did you think of that?
There's so many avatars. It's like 300 million avatars all over. I'm so avatared.
You know what I was thinking when I saw it? I was like, oh, God, I'm gonna have to go see this with my daughter.
It's spectacular looking.
Now
mean,
there's
it is
fire
spectacular.
avatars.
Yeah.
It's spectacular. I mean,
But it is, but to me it just looks boring as shit.
oh, maybe.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty looking, boring stuff. Like we've seen
Yeah.
this already.
Spinal
Yeah.
Tap.
But Spinal Tap looks hilarious as fuck. Man, they nailed it. They
Spinal
have
Tap
nailed it, my
3
man.
trailer. So they have a trailer now, a proper trailer.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, an actual trailer.
The End Continues.
Yep.
Oh man, Michael looks like an old woman.
Yes, but it's fucking great. You need to watch it.
Okay, I'm gonna watch it. Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Take care, brother.
Hi
Have a good
everyone.
day.
care.
Watch
See ya.
my review. If you hate me, don't watch it.
I tell you what, though, comedy is back between if Naked Gun does well and Spinal Tap
Oh,
does.
that'd be great. But we
Man,
just
Spinal
need
Tap
new
was good.
kids. We need the next, you know, who's the next person that is able to crank out 4 or 5 films and because that's what we need. Anyway,
Yeah, like an
pleasure.
American
Have
Pie
a
or something
wonderful
like that.
weekend,
Yeah.
guys. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
So yeah,
Take care.
let's get through these super chats, Andre. We got Magnus Tost, we got that one already, and then we got Jesus Davila gifting 5 Midnight's Edge memberships. Thank you for that. But we didn't get to ask you, did you see the Alien Earth trailer?
Actually, I haven't.
Okay, yeah. It's
And
pretty
I
much
was
like any
looking
other
forward-
Alien trailer.
Yeah, I was like, well, let's see what they do. When is the thing coming out again?
Is it the end of this summer? This soon. It's not
It
too long.
should be pretty soon. I mean, we
Yeah,
we
I was gonna
have
say
that-
September.
we
I
have
think
that.
it is.
We have King of the Hill. We have Beavis and Butthead. We have Peacemaker. And there's a lot of stuff coming.
Did you
soon
see
here.
the trailer for Beavis and Butthead yesterday?
No, I didn't. It was
Oh my
the,
god!
yeah.
It's back, baby. September. They dropped a trailer yesterday. Yeah, I'll send that to you after the show.
Yeah.
Pilgrim Media says not just shills, the bestest shills. Oh, well, thank you, Pilgrim Media. Hyperguyver 2 says, have you seen the clip going around where Pedro trying to get handsy with Willem Dafoe's wife? Dude was about to go Green Goblin on his ass. Yeah, I guess this was from like 8 years ago or more. Something like that. At some like, did you see this, Andre? This event?
No,
thing?
I haven't. I don't think so.
It was like, I can't remember what ceremony it was, but Dafoe was on stage with his wife and a bunch of other people, and it looked like almost like one of those star ceremony things, but it wasn't. I don't think it was that. But Pedro was on stage with him, and he like touches Willem Dafoe's wife's face, and fucking, you can't hear what they're saying, but Willem kind of like says something to him, and then Pedro like says something else, and it kind of looked like there was a bit of an exchange, and yeah, it was almost like Pedro was like, no, it's fine, I'm gay. Mephisto's movie reviews. How you doing, Mephisto? Says, no matter what you think of the new Fantastic Four, the Real McCoy podcast is covering Rise of the Silver Surfer this Saturday after Salty Nerd podcast. You know, I was reminded when I watched the newer, the watching the other ones in the preparation for the new one, how damn good that 2005 one really was, or 2006, whatever it was that came out. It's pretty
Actually,
solid.
I thought it was pretty boring at the time, but yeah,
And now I'm comparatively like watching it again. Yeah, because I was never that big of a fan of it before. I was just kind of like, it's a Fantastic Four movie, sort of. But now watching it, I'm like, it was a lot better than I remember. The second one, not so much. Yeah, the second one is. Francis Jeremy Hates sends in a member chat for 25 months. Thank you for that. And then Kalekioki on the Rumble side says, if it makes you feel better, Tom, I don't think this will hold as well as Superman. Like Odin says, Marvel films are very front-loaded. Several drop-offs, opening may be bigger, will leg out as far. Well, I mean, look, I don't hope bad on any movie usually, personally. I'm just saying this is like, unless there's Disney shenanigans, like, this is not going to send them the signal that they need to be sent. That's kind of where I'm getting.
On the contrary, because a ton of people, very influential people, are absolutely loving this movie. So I think it's a matter of how many people like it versus how many people dislike it. What's the overall effect of word of mouth? I think that this thing is going to open huge this weekend, probably bigger. It's going to be interesting to see, because Thursday is going to be huge. Friday is going to be huge. Then word of mouth is going to spread. Then what's going to happen? And I'm not going to make any predictions, because I see people that whose opinion I trust hate this movie and absolutely love this movie, which means
Right.
I think you're going to have the same thing in the general populace. Some people are going to love this movie, other people are going to hate it, and that is fine. It depends entirely on what you choose to emphasize in different movies. When you have people who are largely in agreement with most other things, but one of them dislikes Superman and loves Fantastic Four, and the other is the polar opposite. So it's kind of like an interesting schism that's happening right there. And how does that translate into the general populace? I really cannot say. So it's going to be interesting to see. I will stand by my prediction, though, that internationally, Fantastic Four may play better than Superman. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Then Dark King says, philosophical question. Tree falls over in a forest and nobody's there to hear it, and it lands on Kevin Feige. Does anyone care? Well, I think His subordinates probably will care, but
Yeah, the people that bought into his hype probably will care. But,
Yeah. people whose bank accounts, they will get affected by it, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, will the world?
So
be
the
better
answer is
off?
yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Some will care.
Bass player 2011 Iffy sends in $4.99. Says they have a few good jokes, but it was 2 B plots with no A plot. That aside, this is bait. They're trying to get sued to fuck over Paramount. I agree. I totally agree. Like, they did everything they could. Like, I get it why people are like freaking out about it, but it's like, you guys you got to think like them. They did everything they could to go after Trump in a way that they know he would probably try and sue them. But if he does sue them, it makes their entire episode true. So it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. And they even put out it, because even that statement that the White House put out was just as bad as when Sean Penn put out that statement about Team America, and motherfucker was so tone deaf, didn't realize that they had a scene in the movie where he says basically the same thing that he sent in his letter, where they're so self-important, they're changing the world and all that bullshit, right? It's like, you don't need to fall for the bait, man. That's exactly what they're doing. They're trolling your ass. If Trump was smart, he should have just laughed it off, to be honest with you, whether it bothered him or not. And this is coming from
I hope
somebody.
I hope he has some advisors that says, dude, just let it go. Let it go. Bigger fish to fry. Let this one go, and that he'll listen to them. That may be a lot.
Yeah, this was totally
but
bait.
I hope so. Yeah,
Totally bait.
So, don't trolls.
Then Bass Player 2011, if he sends in another $19.99, thank you. That's very, very generous. Says Saddam on top of the voice and the music, but also he said a boot. Yeah, which is a reference to last time he was used. Exactly. Being the Canadian Prime Minister during the writer's strike. Yeah, see, if you follow the lore of the show, it makes sense. Now, will they do anything with it? Maybe, maybe not. See, because if you go by what they were saying, this episode was thrown together very quickly at the last minute, and you can kind of tell. The only thing that they kind of did that was a promise that they fulfilled was Jesus came back. And that was it. Like, otherwise, it sounds like none of the shit we saw in that early trailer is going to be in the show. But with that, let's wrap this up, Andre. I know we lost all our panel, but we had a very generous chat today, and we thank you for that. And hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. I guess...
spirited conversation, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, I thought, real quick about the South Park episode, the other plot of it I thought was funny was just that Cartman doesn't know where his place in the world anymore because Woke is supposed to be dead. I think that was kind of South Park poking fun at themselves. I don't know if you caught that at all.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Like, okay, if normality wins, everything is normal. There's nothing to highlight the absurdity and insanity of them. What the hell do you do?
But then on the other side of it, you have all this absurdity and insanity going on all around Cartman, but to him, it's normal. It's like what he wanted this whole time, right? Like, so yeah, I think there's more going on in the episode than we give it credit for, but the Trump jokes, I think people are looking at them in a way that are allowing it to bug them. And I understand, yes, it was some low blows, but I think they were purposefully trying to get sued. So we'll see what happens, if anything.
Yeah. Did we get this one?
Yes. And I agree. All dinosaurs should have nunchucks.
Yeah. We got this one too?
Yes, we did.
Okay, just checking.
Yep, nope. No, good thing to check to make sure. Perfect. And if anybody thinks we missed anything, double check, make sure, let us know. Hopefully the mods can get our attention. But with that, let's get on out of here.
Yeah, exactly. So see you all on Monday. Probably we're going to have a big anniversary stream, something like that, and a few videos in between. And with that, it's time for some koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koala, koala, koalas in the rain.